Okay, allegedly, Dylan Raiola is no longer a five-star quarterback. He's now a four-star quarterback for our buddies over at On Three. Matt, we've all seen him play, probably more than anybody, to be honest with you. Your comments on him, not necessarily falling in the rankings, but going from a five-star to a four-star. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think this might be numbers based. What the kid has done is he's won football games and he's taken care of the football. He's got 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The Buford offense has been a little sluggish here and there. We've seen them play multiple times, but
A little
he
sluggish.
has flashed a 4-star arm. And he's made some big time throws, just over 600 yards. I think from a numbers perspective, Ryan, you'd like him to put up bigger numbers, especially if you're going to rank this kid the number one quarterback, number one player. But he is really, really good. He's taking care of the football, and they're undefeated. So he's doing a lot right.
Yeah, I think it's probably easy when you compare all the top guys and look at their numbers and you see that Raiola's aren't eye popping, but they're solid numbers. And look, as far as arm talent goes, I don't really know how you can say he's not a 5-star. I mean, just off of some of the throws that we know he's capable of making, and just some of the things we know he's capable of doing on the football field. But I get it. Buford's offense has struggled at times. There's been games where it's like, man, like why can't they just score and finish? They've been able to move the ball. They've been gifted this, and I don't think that's all on Raiola. Now I'm sure maybe a little bit of it is, but I don't know. Kind of weird to me that he's dropped. Just only through what 3, 4, 5 games.
Four. They've had a
Four.
couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had a couple off weeks.
4 in the scrimmage. 4 in the
So
scrimmage.
there's a couple of things here, and I can't wait for the hate mail. But first of all, the kid's a 5-star prospect. It's just all there is to it. We're not the. I mean, no outlet is the exclusive barometer of what someone is or is not as it relates to what star they are. And he can be ranked whatever it is. It's fine. I've seen Matthew, Aaron Murray, Jacob Eason, who else is it? Trevor, Justin. And that brings me, the Trevor Justin thing brings me to my point here. This is not abnormal. Having watched an entire game that Julian Sane played as well, he's good. He's a good player. He's a 5-star player as well. But he does stuff that is questionable as a quarterback at times. But I don't know why he was moved up and not down. Well, I'll tell you why. Because in the business of the .com world, it makes sense to talk about stuff. We are now talking about this. And when you move players, it generates stories, and then it generates discussion points. Is this person actually better than that? Now, I am old enough to remember Justin Fields replacing Trevor Lawrence as the number one quarterback in the country. And then a couple of, 2 months later, whatever it was, then Trevor went back magically to being number one. Now, now you're laughing, but you remember it too. It was ridiculous. So I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't give a shit what anybody says. I've seen the kid play. He's got some cleaning up to do for sure. Who's got the most cleaning up to do is Buford's offensive line, which has just straight up not been good. I don't know if I've watched Raiola more than anybody out there, but I know that I was the only person in Charlotte. I'll put it like that way, and I've seen him play multiple times in Atlanta, Matt. So, they really struggled in Charlotte. It was not because of Raiola. Their line is rough, but I saw Sayan doing stuff that I just didn't understand. I'm not sure I've seen, and I'm not trying to I'm not trying to nail that kid down. I mean, but like the dropping of players sometimes to me, I mean, it's just a business thing to me. Dylan Raiola is a special player.
I think you're right, because they dropped him significantly. So there has to be, multiple people involved in that decision. And to drop him 30-plus points, I mean, this was the same outlet at him number one in the country. So there's obviously something they really, really like about him.
Or got
and
wrong.
I think he could. Yeah, or got wrong.
At
but
the start.
When I watched him play at North Cobb, he was phenomenal. He played like a 5-star, threw for just under 300 yards. But the deep throws that he's made, I think we've all seen him launch the football up. A good bit this year, maybe not in Charlotte when you were there, Dean, but he can sling it, and he's got that sidearm motion. He has NFL arm talent. And again, are we ranking these guys based on NFL potential or what they've already accomplished? A little bit of both. There's a lot of factors that go into it. So I'm not sure why you drop a kid 30-something points when he hasn't turned the football over and his team is undefeated and the arm talent hasn't gotten any worse. It's still at an elite level.
No, I mean each of these games he just shows off more and more what he can do. I mean even just last week when I went and watched him is the game where he had that crazy play where he's flung around and
That
he
was not a smart
sidearms
play
it.
though.
It was not a smart play, but it was a spectacular play. And you just think about some of the throws he's making. And I've said it over and over. He's flicking it 65 yards. He's not launching it. I mean, it's just coming out like a normal ball. I mean, compared him to some of these college quarterbacks that can throw really, really pretty deep balls, it looks more effortless for him than a lot of those guys. And just the sidearm, you should be able to throw a quick slant and everything, but we've seen him, wrap that ball around defenders. The talent, he puts it on display every week, and I mean, like Dean was talking about, the offensive line is not good.
No.
I mean, almost every single play, the pocket is collapsing. He's got to make quicker decisions. He's got to make plays with his legs, and he is not an electric athlete as far as speed goes. That's not what he is. That's not who he is. So, maybe those things are things that got factored into it. And if that's the case, that's probably not that accurate. But he has a 5-star arm for sure.
Well, can you play the position? I mean, if Brock Vandagriff is a 5-star quarterback,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not hating on Brock Vandagriff. I've seen that guy play too. But let's just kind of be honest about this. And I don't care. I've been doing this for a quarter century. Nobody's going to call and scream at me. That's their problem. But this, more likely than anything, is him not hitting the expectation that people really want, coupled with a business. I mean, it's just what it is. And I have done this longer than anybody else. I've done this a lot longer than a lot of people, even over there. And that's what happens in this business. And, we're talking about it. So goal achieved, but it's disingenuous to me. I mean, Ryan Puglisi's in the top 10 here as well. It's not like, Raiola is the only guy that is on this list for them. And there are some good quarterbacks, but this is the same group that went, did the whole Justin and, Trevor thing. And it's just what it is. It's why honestly, that part of it is why people don't trust the recruiting rankings. But I don't forget all that. Forget all that part. Okay. If you watch him and you legitimately say this guy is not a 5-star player, I'm just not sure. Now, is Sammy Brown ranked 5-star for them?
Yes.
Wait, I couldn't hear you.
Yes, he is.
Okay,
I think he's in the 15 actually for them.
Okay, Sammy Brown's a really he might be the best football player in Georgia in terms of what he can do. Where is the kid from Buford that wreaks havoc constantly?
I think they dropped him number 60. I don't have that memorized here, but
number
they dropped
zero.
him a decent
number
amount.
0.
Don't what?
Maybe
we're watching Buford too much. Maybe we're watching Buford too much. I don't know.
They dropped Edric Houston to the 60s.
I think so. I mean, let me check right here. Mike Matthews got dropped. Was a 5-star going to Tennessee. They dropped him to a 4-star. Edric Houston's now a 4-star, number 60 in the country, number 9 in the state of Georgia. There are not 8 players better than Edric Houston in the state of Georgia.
Where is the kid from? Just out of curiosity, Matt, and because I've not looked at the entire. I don't have it. I should say I don't have it on the screen. What about the kid from Mays? Where is he in this entire ball game? Because he was
going down.
That kid is quite. He is going to be quite good, I think, and we'll just see. Devontae Wyatt type stuff.
He's not in the top 50. No, he's number 49. Number 49 player in the state. In the state, yeah.
You're talking about
he was Quintavious Johnson, Adam Mays, 6'4", 255, is playing running back. He is a big athlete who can really run, but he's got a high ceiling too. He knows what he's doing defensively, and he's got a good motor.
Okay, so I just want to make sure, because and I'm not doing this for drama right now. I want to make sure I understand what you're saying, because there's a little bit of back and forth here. You're saying the kid at Mays is barely a top 50 player prospect in Georgia, correct?
They have him at number 49 in the state of Georgia.
Do you think people have seen him play?
The people who cover Georgia have. I don't know if these national guys have. But several people that do what we do, I think, went to go see him the week after we did. But he was impressive, and it was in the heat. That was a hot day, and he was playing both sides of the ball. I thought he looked better, way better than top 50 or 49, wherever.
So let me just say this. The young man we saw from Savannah Christian that played at Marist that night, he's. I think a lot of people have him ranked quite high. I think if you were to tell me, oh, they dropped him to 33, I would be like, oh, okay, I get that. But now, I will say this for my old friends over there. I mean, they're probably seeing one game live, and that's a lot of what they're seeing, and which is the same thing that we do. We base things on one thing, a game live. But I mean, we've seen Raiola enough to know, what you're looking at there, and I just it's kind of hard for me to reconcile that personally. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the rankings myself now.
The guy from Buford being ranked that low nationally, but
yeah,
it's really for me the red flag is that Johnson is that low in the state. I mean, that just is impossible.
It looks like they've got KJ Bolden at 16. They kept him a 5-star. I mean, he certainly made some 5-star plays, but man, I mean, look, we've all seen Buford multiple times. Is Edric Houston not the one that pops the most?
Yes, but he is for sure. And they made the judgment there may be, hey, he's a really good high school football player. To which I would say, well, so is Sammy Brown.
Yeah.
So, which is it? Sammy Brown to me is the most curious one. No hate. He's the most curious one. And Matt and I have talked about Sammy Brown a lot because we've seen Sammy Brown a lot. And, Sammy Brown popped more than Malachi Starks did when you watched him play football at Jefferson. You saw it too, Ryan. But what my question is can that transfer to playing linebacker in the side to side? Chaz Chambliss, when I saw him play when he was a freshman at Carrollton, and then years later when he was a senior, was this guy can get to the quarterback. Is he going to be an all down player? But I would have never confused Chaz Chambliss with being a 5-star player necessarily, but he's a very good 4-star player. And I think I just don't. There's no telling why guys get ranked. I've never been a part of the ranking system, and I thank God. But I don't. It's the Mays kid for me just doesn't make sense more than anything. Final thoughts.
Yeah, we're going to see it. We'll see where these kids are at the final rankings. There might be 2 more updates in the next 3-4 months. Because
2 more updates. Don't worry about that part. All right. Thanks for watching.
We'll move up.